What's up, beautiful people? Today I'm going to be doing this super fall inspired eyeshadow look, and we're going to be doing a little bit of a comparison here. I'm going to be comparing the Thank Me Later from Elizabeth Mott's eyeshadow primer versus Tarte Shape Tape concealer for an eyeshadow primer. So if you'd like to see how I did this look and how the concealer and the eyeshadow primer compare, keep on watching. So, I don't even know where to begin. With eyeshadow primer, you're gonna get something that's tacky, at least that's what I would hope for, and more on the transparent side. I don't think I've ever really found any eyeshadow primers that are like gonna give you coverage as a base. Even the P. Louise base, which is pigmented, you just still don't want to use very much, and so it's not going to give you a nice covered base. Look at my eyes. I have a lot of veins, a lot of discoloration going on here. I like a nice thick concealer base to cover that up and give me a smooth, even surface to work with. That's why I choose to use concealer for an eyeshadow base. Now, when you're picking your concealer, you want to go with something that is matte. I like a thick concealer that's going to dry down really well. My favorite is the Tarte Shape Tape concealer or the e.l.f. 16 Hour Camo Concealer. They're my favorite go-tos for priming my eyes. And then when it comes to eyeshadow primers, there are thousands of different options out there. I've tried plenty myself. Back in the day when I first started doing makeup, I strictly did my eyeshadow with a eyeshadow primer, but I just found that I was not getting the payoff that I was looking for. The bases were always hit and miss. I could never find a primer that I loved until I got the Thank Me Later eyeshadow primer, and I got this in one of my boxy charms. I had already tried the Morphe eyeshadow primer. It's alright. I don't recommend it. I do like the P. Louise. I went with the shade White because I was thinking that I was going to use it for really colorful looks, which is what I use it for, but I can only use it with certain palettes. Mainly Morphe I found it works the best with, but everything else, it's just a little, I just get too much creasing, and I don't know why. I've tried applying barely any and also a lot, and I just cannot find the happy medium there. I sometimes can get this to work, sometimes not. It's usually hit and miss for me. But this Thank Me Later stuff, the name is very fitting for it. You can thank me later when you buy it. So I'm going to be using a Thank Me Later and the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer on one eye each. So I think I'm going to do the right eye with the eyeshadow primer and the left eye with the concealer. And then we're going to see if it really makes that much of a difference with the You're So Chic palette. So for the Thank Me Later, you want to make sure that you let it sit for a couple minutes to get nice and tacky before you go in with the eyeshadow. So I'm going to start with that. And I'm just putting a small amount on my finger, and I'm going to use my finger to pat it around, smooth it out all over my eyelids. And as you can see, it's definitely doing something. Like it's leaving a nice matte sheen on it, but other than that, it's not covering anything. We're still going to have all those veins, all that discoloration, the redness. So that is exactly why I choose not to reach for an eyeshadow primer too often. Now I'm going to go in with just a tiny bit of concealer on the other eye. And you really do not need much. I'm going to go in with that much, and that's definitely going to be enough. Blend it out with my sponge. And as you can see over here, we're getting a nice clean base to work with. So that's what I prefer. So we're going to be sticking with this page, and I really want to play with this orange and yellow because they match my hair, and it's a whole vibe, you know? First starting with the orange on this nice fluffy brush. This is a Moda M16 brush, in case you're wondering, also from BoxyCharm. So I'm just going to start by taking this in the crease, and I'm just going to apply that to the whole eye. Alright, so far it's not doing too bad on the just primer eye. Who knows, maybe this palette really does work better with primer. And now going in on the concealer eye. Okay, I will admit that the shadow maybe went on a little bit better on the primer. It's looking a little bit more pigmented, maybe? No. Okay, once I open my eye, I'm still seeing a lot of discoloration under there. I think maybe I just need to add a little bit more to this eye and it's just gonna look better. Okay, yes. So far, I am thinking the orange looks better on the concealer eye. It's way more vivid, way brighter. I think it's even brighter than it looks in the pan, to be honest. This eye looks very dull, very sad and see-through. Like I said, these veins, man, I just got way too veiny eyes. I cannot go in without a thick concealer. I'm gonna add some more orange. We're really gonna try to cover that up and make it work. Okay. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I still think you can really see a lot through there, but I think I'm also being a little bit nitpicky, you know? I also just feel like when I first applied the eyeshadow to this eye, I thought it went on really smooth and nice. And on the concealer, it is a little bit thicker and harder to get the product to be where you want it at first, if that makes any sense. But now that I have a lot of shadow packs on there, I think this eye is actually easier to work with than this eye. I don't know. Moving on. And then I'm gonna go in with this brown and I'm gonna add that to the outer corner. And I'm just using a really dense, fine crease brush. Forgot to tap that off, so now we're gonna have a messy fallout look underneath my eye going on, because this palette has the worst fallout. And I'm just gonna pat that on there to that outer corner, kind of in like a wing shape. And then go back in with that first brush to blend the two together. It's not really blending. I'm gonna move on to the other eye and then I'm gonna work on that off camera a little bit, maybe. We'll see. Oh my gosh, the fallout is real. Oh, it's so bad. All right, let's see how it blends on this eye. I don't feel like it's blending any better. I'm gonna go in with just a touch more orange. Orange, that's such a hard word. Okay, that is definitely helping to blend the two together. And then I'm gonna go in with a little bit more brown, just on the outer portion of it. A little bit more blending, because I'm still having troubles blending this like in between portion here. I cannot get that blended out. All right, I actually kind of think the primer eye is actually looking better. I am shocked. I'm gonna add a little bit more brown just to kind of make sure that I'm adding the same amount of product to each eye. And then some more orange to blend that out. And now going into the yellow on this Luxie 237 brush. I am struggling to pick up some yellow with this brush. Okay, well, we'll see if this works. And I'm gonna apply that to the outer part of the orange just to blend those edges out a little bit more. I feel like that is way more yellow than it looks in the palette. It looks like a nice sunflower yellow in the palette, and then once it gets on the eye, it's like yellow. I'm not mad. Okay, I don't really feel like I'm getting this yellow to blend into the orange right here, but other than that, I don't think it's coming off patchy or anything. So far, I am thoroughly impressed with the eyeshadow primer eye. Never thought I'd say that. I also really feel like the crease is holding up better on this side too. You know, they might be onto something with the eyeshadow primer. Although, when I'm going in with the yellow on this eye, I kind of feel like the yellow and the orange are blending together a lot nicer over here than they did over here. As you can see, there's still like a very clearly different shade going on there, you know? But over here, it's almost like, wait, what? You know? Yeah, I'm so great at explaining things, aren't I? Sorry. I'm gonna try a little bit harder to get this to look like that eye. I just can never make my wings look the same. So annoying. Anybody else have that problem? It's just me. Good enough. And now for the lid, I'm gonna go with this like nice gold orange shimmer. Glitter, I should say. And then just apply that right to the lid. This is where I'm hoping that the eyeshadow primer is really gonna come through, because I was thinking this glitter's already really good and that eyeshadow primer is my favorite. So I have very high hopes here. If this creases, that's it. I'm done. I don't know what else to do. I just realized I never did my lower lash line too. I am terrible about that, but we'll get there. I have to say I am very impressed with how this glitter is sticking so far. Ooh, this is gonna be a game changer if this works. It's so pretty. Oh, I do not want this glitter to move. Ooh, yes. Okay, so I think I'm having the glitter go on easier on this eye, like it's spreading better, but I don't know if it looks better yet, you know? All right, so far what do we think? Is there a noticeable difference or can you only kind of tell? Okay, I just got up close and personal with my mirror and I noticed that pretty much this whole section along my lash line is not taking any product. It took the brown over here, but it's not taking any glitter, whereas over here, the glitter is taking. So I don't know if I just didn't get the primer all the way down there or what, but I do have to say this eye looks like it's creasing and everything else with the glitter way worse than this eye. So this eyeshadow primer really just might be my key to unlocking all of my life's mysteries. Why I can never get glitter to work. I really hope it is, you know? I really do. Now I'm going to go in with some more of the brown for the lower lash line, and I'm only going to bring it as far as I brought it on the top lashes, and then going in with the orange, and I'm only going to bring that about halfway, and then finishing it up with the yellow. And now I'm going to dip into the lightest highlight shade to highlight my inner corners. No, you know what? I'm gonna go with the yellowy one right next to it. I think that's gonna look a little bit better. Yes. And I'm gonna bring it a little bit further onto the lower lash line as well. Now let me quickly add some lashes and we can talk about how this look turned out. Alright, here's the look completely finished. I'm wearing the Ardell Demi Wispies in case you're wondering. And let me get up close and personal with you so you can really get a look at it. As you can see over here, the glitter is definitely creasing and just not looking good. And then on this eye, it's still looking really good. So I definitely do recommend trying an eyeshadow primer with this palette. It makes the world of difference with the glitters. At least for me personally, I have very greasy eyelids and that's why glitters just don't really work on me. I don't know that I noticed too terribly much of a difference in how everything blended out in the end. I do think maybe with the primer it took a little bit less effort to blend, but other than that, I don't really notice much difference in that area. So definitely with the glitters makes the world of difference. Let me know in the comments if you noticed more of a difference than I do, or if this has convinced you to switch over to an eyeshadow primer rather than the concealer. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you next time. Bye!